of the Kings. The cool thing about this game, it's a deck builder. It's a pocket-sized deck builder. You can throw that sucker in your purse. So I've been buying, like, I bought, like, a lot of games that, we haven't played them all yet, but we played some of them, like Welcome to the Dungeon, and I've been buying games that are, like, this size, like, small, so you can, if you bring a bunch of games to game day, you can squeeze these kind of in between the bigger games. And they're still, like, pretty decent games. Like, they're not simplified. We haven't actually shuffled our decks yet, because we're going to explain the rules, and then we'll do that. So the first thing to talk about is we've got our draw pile, we've got our pyramid, we have our individual decks, and then we have the boneyard, which is the discard pile. Now, whenever a card's removed from the pyramid, unless it's removed from the top row, the pyramid immediately crumbles. So a card from the row above crumbles down to fill in the space left by the card that was removed. Usually only one card is actually diagonally above, so if you notice they're kind of diagonal to each other. I tried to make it as close to that as possible. But if the empty space is in the center, either two cards may crumble down, and you get to choose, like, which one would actually crumble down. It could also end up leaving an empty space at the top, which would also cause a crumble. So just keep that in mind when you're crumbling down. So first, let's determine the start player. Huh.
Well,
my high rolls are done.
I was going to say, you can't be first all the time.
Mine are.
Darn.
Alright, so you'll be first player. So you're going to take the first turn of the game. We're going to continue clockwise. You're always going to be first player until we get to the end of game. So what you're going to do during your turn, and we have this to kind of keep track of what we need to do. Let me put mine where I can read it. You need to follow the following steps in order. You play cards, and each card in your hand can only be played for only one of these purposes: to buy a card from the pyramid, to execute the action listed on the card, or entomb the card. And we'll explain what those steps mean. But real quick, I probably should explain what the actual cards are. So I'm going to actually use some from my hand. These are the starter cards that we get. So if you notice, there's no different colors. There's no different anything. But you've got the card title on the top. So let me put this up a little bit so folks watching can see. Wow, this is super bright. So that says earn, but that's the title at the top. And then this right here is the gold value. So I'll show it to you guys too. It's the gold value, the little gold coin. So for example, this earn is worth 1 for buying other cards. The number on the upper right corner is the cost to buy the card. We obviously in our starting deck we have these, but so this one costs 4 to buy. This one costs 6. And then you have your frame color, so this is gray. The frame color is coded to set card types. So all amulets, for example, have the same yellow color. It makes it easier to identify your set cards, because we're going to be collecting sets. And the symbol in the upper left corner, so see this kind of symbol right here. Really hard to see, but it looks like a whip.
It is.
It's a bent. Oh, it is a whip. Yeah, it's like a bent ankh, but it's a whip.
It's a whip.
That can also help you to identify your set. So if you're colorblind, you can still play this game. Right here is the action that the card can take. And that's instead of using it for the gold value. And then there's some historical text on them. It's kind of neat. We can read them if we want to. And there are 3 types of cards. There are starter cards, which is what we have right here, these gray bordered ones. There are unique artifacts and sets. And the number in the parentheses indicates how many different cards appear in that set. So if you have a set, you're going to see on the bottom, this was starter, it's one VP point. If it's a set, it will say like amulets, and it'll have a parentheses that might say 3 at the bottom. Starter cards don't have that. They're just worth straight points. So does that make sense as far as like what the cards are and stuff? So now you guys can shuffle your cards if you want to. I'll shuffle mine after we explain the game. Now, when you've played all of the cards you choose to play, you discard all your cards in play and all cards remaining in your hand. Cards may be discarded in any order you wish, and all cards go to your personal discard pile, not the boneyard. Then you rebuild the pyramid. If you've made no changes whatsoever to the pyramid during your turn, sacrifice any card in that pyramid. So if you didn't buy anything, you actually choose a card, you sacrifice it. And you put that on top of the boneyard. The pyramid will then crumble as normal, regardless of whether or not you change the pyramid. Replace cards removed from the pyramid with cards from the stock. Draw cards one at a time to fill the empty spaces in the pyramid, starting from the base and working your way up. Then you draw a new hand. We're going to draw 5 cards each time, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
If any time you're required to draw a card and your deck is empty, that's when you can shuffle it, and you cannot shuffle it prior to that. After you've completed each step, the next player clockwise will take the same exact actions. Now, to buy cards, cards are bought one at a time from the base of the pyramid. You may only buy cards from among the 3 cards in the base of the pyramid. Cards in the middle or top row cannot be bought until they crumble down to the base. You may buy any number of cards during your turn that you can afford. So you're going to lay out... So to do this, you're going to lay out your cards with a sufficient gold value, count it up so players can see. If you overpay, no change is given and the extra gold is immediately lost. You remove the purchase card from the pyramid and place it on top of your discard pile, and the pyramid crumbles. When a card is played for its gold value, you cannot use its action. Do not discard the cards you use for gold. They remain on the table as part of your cards in play until the end of your turn. Now, executing actions. That's what you can do instead of using the gold value. If you place your card on the table and carry out its action, if a card has more than one part to its action, you must complete all parts. Furthermore, you must execute the parts in order, completing one part before you move on to the next. If one of the parts cannot be executed, for example, because the required card is not available, you may not execute the action. You must complete all the action parts in the card before doing anything else. Unless otherwise noted, the effects of actions end at the conclusion of your turn. You may execute any number of actions during your turn. When a card is played for its action, you cannot use its gold value. Do not discard the cards used for actions. They remain in the table as part of your cards in play until the end of your turn. There must be stuff that can affect it or something. Yeah. So action terms that says buy means buy a card from the base of the pyramid. Cards in your hand, obviously, are the cards you haven't played yet. Cards in play are the ones you've already laid on the table for either buying or action purposes. Cost is the number in the upper right corner of the card. We're not going to talk about draw. We know what that means. Entombing means you choose a card from your hand and put it into your tomb under the tomb card. That's what these are. I'm going to put mine above my name. Perfect. Sacrifice. Choose a card and put it on top of the boneyard, face up. Some actions call for the sacrifice of cards from your hand, while others for sacrificing from the pyramid. Cards already in play cannot be sacrificed. And then the term take, unless otherwise noted, this means take a card from anywhere in the pyramid and place on top of your discard pile. Now, entombing cards, a little bit of clarification on what that means. Once per turn, you may put a card from your hand into your tomb. Some actions will allow you to place additional cards into your tomb. When a card is entombed, you cannot use its gold value or action. The cards in your tomb are public knowledge. Lay out your tomb as shown. You're supposed to kind of do this, so I guess I'll have to lower mine. So if I were to play this in my tomb, it would go like this. So you can see the title.
Okay.
And the set thing. So, and then if I place another one, it would go like this. So you can always see the cost, the sets, like that is what it would look like when you're entombing. At the end of the game, the game continues with all the following conditions have been met. No cards are left in the stock. No cards are left in the pyramid. All players have taken the same number of turns. After the game ends, all players count their victory points. Only cards in your tomb count. The cards in your hand, deck, and discard pile are worthless. There are 3 types of cards. Starter cards, unique artifacts like boat, barrel, mask, etc., and sets. Scoring of starter cards and unique artifacts is easy. Just add up the victory points listed on the bottom of the cards. For sets, determine how many different cards in each set you have. Do not count duplicates. And square the result. Multiply the result by itself, basically. So if you have 6 different cards in a set, you would multiply 6 by 6. And that's your points. Add up all your points. The player with the most points wins. In the case of ties, the player with the fewest cards in his tomb wins. Interesting. Further ties results in a shared victory. You may not look at the contents of the boneyard other than the top face-up card, so we can't look at the history. You may look at your own discard pile without rearranging any cards when it is not your turn. So you can do it during your turn or when it's not your turn. During your turn, you only look at your discard pile if allowed to by an action. So if you forget, you may count the number of cards remaining in the stock without rearranging the cards when it is not your turn. If an action allows you to put a card into your tomb, it does not count towards the limit of attuning once per turn. If a player has accidentally placed any extra cards in his tomb, the cards are placed in his discard pile instead. Wow. For all other errors, if the error is caught before the next player plays a card, the error is corrected. If the player has already played the card, the error is not corrected. So if we mess up and we don't catch it, then it stays. You cannot use the gold value of a card to buy more than one card at a time. For example, if you have a card with a gold value of 6, you cannot buy 2 3-value cards. Interesting.
Yeah, because you don't get change.
Yeah. Then there's some card clarifications that we'll deal with if we need to. Here's the thing that's interesting that I'm wondering of.
Okay.
If you're collecting a set and you have like 2 concurrent sets, you know what I mean? Like say you're collecting statues and you've got like, I guess the extras just don't count at all. So if you have, it's like for example, if I have, let's pretend these are statues for a second and these are statues.
Well, yeah, it even says ignore duplicates.
Okay, so you ignore them completely. So they don't count as a second.
No.
Like, you know, with Tokaido, you count them as a second set that you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Nope, they're completely ignored.
So if you complete a set, don't bother getting
Well, if you got a card from that set, you can get another one. Just don't bother entombing it.
Yeah, don't waste the time entombing it.
Oh, yeah.
That's why another reason why you want to do that, so you
Yeah.
can see what you need to entomb.
Like, there's no point entombing 2 statues of Shikaba.
Yeah.
Shikabe.
Shikabe. Subak.
Shabak.
Something.
Something.
Something Egyptian.
So, I'm first player.
Yes, you are.
I'm using all
Velocity just hopped in and said nerds.
This
no,
one.
we're geeks.
Both.
I don't know if I would qualify as a nerd. I'm crap at math, so.
I'm not. I'm going to spend 5 gold to buy the statue.
All right. And then it crumbles.
And that ends my turn.
All right. And then you replace.
Yep.
I'm sorry. We draw 5, yeah?
Yes.
Yes. And it is also your turn.
And I'm assuming in this game you only reshuffle your deck when you have
try
to
draw.
draw.
You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's exactly.
So... Can I only do one action, or...
You do as many as you can afford to do.
Oh, you know, when we take the cards, we should probably say what they do for actions.
Oh, yeah. Mine was reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, discard 1, and tomb 1, put the other on top of your opponent's discard pile.
Wow. That's a busy card.
Never going to use it for that effect.
Nope. Probably a set or something, or points.
Yeah. Yeah, that is.
Are we supposed to be putting one in the tomb each round or something?
If you want to.
If you want
Early
to.
on, you probably don't want to, though, because you want these cards for money and stuff.
But you win by points, don't
Yes.
you? From what's in your tomb.
Essentially, this game will not end until this deck is gone.
Yeah.
And this is gone.
Yeah, it probably won't take that long, to be honest. It looks like a big deck, but it's not. When you have, well,
Yeah,
if you have 4 players, probably go through faster, but
I would say this is at least a 40 plus card deck.
yeah,
So it's going to be at least 40 turns.
yeah.
So I would discard these 2 to buy that.
This is the cost in the corner.
Oh, I thought...
No, that's how much they're worth when you're using them for gold. Which is why I use my entire hand to buy something.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm doing.
And, oh, well, it's repeat
And then where
in
does
action.
this go?
It goes in your discard pile.
It gets reshuffled after we go through this, I'm guessing.
Yes. Once you cannot draw another card. So, for me, I have to wait until I have to draw again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, I get it now.
Alright, first I'm going to play these 4 for money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to buy the Book of Traversing Eternity. Wow. If you bought a card this turn, take another card with a lower cost, which obviously that doesn't count right now.
Because yeah.
And then do I want to use this?
Gotta crumble. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, technically it crumbles. Does it crumble right away? I guess it doesn't
Yes,
matter.
once it's.
And then. I'm actually going to use Shop Tea to sacrifice it. And that is my turn. If you don't mind drawing out some more cards for me, that would be awesome. Thank you.
A lot of Book of Gates.
Yeah, definitely a lot of Book of Gates.
Interesting game.
Yeah.
Not sure if I like it better than Star Realms.
I'm going to buy the amulet. Why not? We'll
Throw a
just
book down there.
flood the bottom with the Book of Gates.
We are, after all, nerds. Ooh, a cat.
It is a cat.
Aww.
Goes meow. I know, I'm not shuffling.
So I can use this to swap 2 cards in the pyramid for.
Yep.
Mm.
Not swapping the kitty.
Nope.
And then.
Not swap.
Can I see the kitty?
I will buy the amulet.
And then we got the where's amulet? Amulets, amulets, and books.
Yep.
Is what we got.
Indeed it is.
Alright. I'm going to play Shop Tea to swap the kitty with the book because it's funny. And then I'm going to purchase the kitty. And then I'll bring a different book down.
You just wanted it because it was a kitty.
It's true. Plus it's a new set. Although I probably shouldn't get too many different sets. I probably should have gotten a book, to be honest. That would have been smarter.
There's a lot of books.
There are a lot of books, so I can get away with getting one kitty. Huh.
Alright. Alright, I'm gonna buy the Book of the Earth. Sacrifice a card in your hand, take a card with a cost up to twice as much as the card sacrificed.
Nice.
And I will entomb this
Box of food. Getting ready to throw a fair one during, huh?
Why not?
It's good to do that too, just so that you get the better cards more often. It's kind of like scrapping
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
in
right.
Star Realms, but
Cuz.
ooh,
Statue
there's
of
the
Anubis.
Anubis that you liked. It's just like, ooh, Anubis.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Mhm.
So Doesn't really matter. Yay.
Anubis. And the book goes down, and then the book goes down.
Books.
Books is
Another book.
Alright. I I forgot. I have the kitty. I drew it, but I have to read what it says because I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm using them for money, but what the kitty does is each opponent puts a card on top of your discard pile. Exception: players with 5 or fewer total cards do not put the cards on top of your discard pile.
Yeah.
But I'm using it for money. Let's see. That's 2, 3, 4, 5 to buy.
Book
Book of the Earth, because I don't think I have that one.
No.
Sacrifice a card in your hand. Take a card with a cost up to twice as much as the sacrifice cards. That's a good one.
Yep.
And then I'm going to play the Book of Traversing Eternity. If you bought a card this turn, take another card with a lower cost. So the one I bought was worth 5.
So you can get any of the ones.
Oh God, do I want a book or do I want? I want a book. Is what I want. The sarcophagus looks great, but at the same time, reveal the top card of your deck. Execute this action if possible. Discard the card after.
I'm going to swap 2 cards. Then I'm buying the Book of Eternity. Of Traversing Eternity.
It's a good book.
It is.
I read it. I literally just read it. It's an interesting game. It's definitely easier to play multiplayer than Star Realms is, but I think I like the combos in Star Realms though. But then again, I haven't played enough of this to know the combos. There's some good ones, I'm sure.
From what I've seen,
For purchasing, there is, but that's
yeah.
about it so far.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different from Star Wars. So you're not fighting anybody. You're just taking stuff. Ooh, a kitty. It's a unique kitty.
It is.
Oh, it's a mummified cat. Gross. Never mind. Screw that cat.
And I will buy it with these. And I will put this in my tomb.
Okay. We got some crumbling to do.
Ah, yes.
What the heck is that thing at the top? Is that a head?
It's a
Oh, it's a jar.
yeah, it's a jar.
Your door is a jar.
Your door is a jar. Your door.
A sacrificial jar.
Your jar is a door?
Your jar is a door.
That can't be right. Alright, I'll do that. I'm going
Wait,
to.
it's my turn.
Oh, that's
I
right.
haven't done
Yep.
yet. Okay, I'm gonna buy the book because it's a book. Do I want to do that? Wait, can I do it in a different order?
Yeah.
No. I think I want to do something first. I'm going to play the urn, so I can take the top card of my discard pile and put it on top of my deck. That way I don't have to shuffle this out. I can actually potentially use that for fun. Then I'm gonna buy the Book of Gates, and then I'm gonna put a box of food in my tomb because it's fun. Let's get discarded.
Alright, so now
1, 2,
it's
3.
my turn. So I'm going to buy the Wide Amulet. Swap a card in your hand with a card in my tomb.
Ooh, nice.
Then I'm going to buy the Statue of Newts.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Guess we're getting jars for a while. What is this thing? Oh, sarcophagi. Okay, so there's only 3 sarcophagi.
Yeah.
Well, 3 in the set, not necessarily in the whole game.
Well, yeah, there's 3 in each set, yes.
I have nothing in any of those sets. Okay.
Meh.
I know, right? You got the one statue that came up.
Damn right.
Was the mummified cat a statue? No, that was a unique item.
That was a unique item.
Alright, so I've got one statue and books. That's what I've got. And
You have a very odd collection.
I do. I'm basically like some frou-frou, like, you know what I mean? I got the books, the one statue.
I've got statues, I've got books.
You're an archaeologist. I'm the person who's like, look at all these artifacts I have.
Pay that this and
Huh.
okay, you have Anubis too, right?
Yes,
so
I do.
after I've drawn him, I draw an extra card.
It's when you use it as its for its action effect on your turn. Then the next time you draw up to 5, you get the
Okay.
additional
Yeah.
card.
So next turn.
That's good.
Because you have to use it to affect the game.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I'm trying to clear something apparently that doesn't want to go away.
Alright.
You know, I was like sick 2 weeks ago, and it's like I feel fine now, but I just keep coughing.
Mm-hmm.
There's some stuff going around. Okay. I'm going to buy the middle sarcophagus, and it's a sacrifice card, and tomb a card from your hand. Put that in my discard pile, which nobody can see.
Man, I'm having deja vu.
Why did you get that too?
No, I'm just reading this card and I feel like I've played this before all of a sudden, but I know I didn't. And it's just weird.
I'm going to play Book of Traversing Eternity. If you bought a card this turn, take another card with lower cost. I'm going to take this one, which is put a card from your hand on top of an opponent's deck. Draw a card. Interesting. Next time when I get rid of crap, I could do that to get it out of the deck
Yeah, I suppose so.
without having to entomb. That's not bad. That's actually okay. That's better than I thought.
Okay, I'm going to use the Book of the Earth. Sacrifice a card from my hand. I may take a card with up to twice the cost of the card I sacrificed. I'm going to sacrifice.
I will take your sacrifice card.
That's fine. I still get the effect.
Yep.
It costs 2, so I get to take something that's costs 4. I'm going to take this up here. Then I'm going to buy amulet.
There's a lot of kitties.
There's a lot of kitties.
Yes, this.
Did you only use 2 cards? That's cost 4.
That's too many. This is what these cost. You need 2 more monies.
Unless you have
And
the
I'm
Book of the
gonna-
Earth.
Yeah.
Use that for
So yeah.
my...
So now after you draw, you'll draw an additional 2 more cards.
And then potentially either one of these can fall down. Which one do you want to fall down? The statue or the
statue.
thing? Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Discard one. Entomb one. Put one on top of an opponent's discard pile. Jeez.
When we add up points, what are we adding up? Like, I
Card-
know,
oh,
but I mean like numbers.
It's at the
wise.
bottom of
It's at the bottom.
Bottom of the
And we're
card.
going to do sets too. So you do your
Yeah.
sets, and then you add the stuff that just has a regular total.
Each starter card is worth 1 VP. There's
Yeah.
6 different books, so there's a total of chance of getting 36 points if you have all the books entombed.
Yep. Because you square it. So, for example, there's 7 statues. If I had all 7, I would do 7 times 7. That'd be that set of points. But let's say I only have 3 statues. I have 2 statues right now, so I'd be 2 times 2, so that'd be 4 points. If they're entombed.
Yeah, if they're entombed.
And then, so any sets you have, you do that way. And then unique items are worth points, and starter items are worth points. Just regular points. You
What are
want
you
to.
collapsing?
I guess I'll collapse the jar.
Wow.
What's that?
Statue of Horus. Entomb a card from your hand. Costs 7 to buy.
Oh, jeez. I'm gonna be sitting out for a while.
A little bit. I'm going to buy one of these jars, and then I'm going to play the Book of Traversing Eternity.
Here's the jar.
This jar.
It's a great way for set collecting, that's for sure.
These fall. This falls. Wrong deck card. It's an amulet and another book. Book of the Dead.
That's why they're expensive, because they're the 3s.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a word. Pyramid.
Why not? Each opponent discards a card. By Kitty. And I'll use my Anubis again.
Mm-hmm.
And I might as well just do that. Because I like it.
Okay. So this way, collapse this way.
Jeez. Alright. Alright, I will buy 4. I will buy the jar.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will play the Book of Traversing Eternity, so I can get something for 3 odds.
You'll only
let's
do
take
one
this
per
one.
Now no one buys anything.
I could have, if she hadn't done me discard, I could have bought
Yeah.
one thing that was higher up.
I'm going to use the white amulet to swap a card from my hand with a card in my tomb, or in my tomb.
I do that. Nice.
Then I'll entomb a card, and then I'll end up using the Statue of Anubis, which lets me draw 6 cards.
Mm-hmm.
I will buy. Does this mean when you draw it?
Entomb a card
I know.
from your hand.
Yeah. Does that mean when you're playing it's your turn? You can do 2 cards.
You can do 2 entombs, yes.
Yeah.
You would entomb a card in your hand, and then you could entomb a different card in your hand later with your once a turn one, yes.
Do you have an extra card because of Anubis? Is
Yes.
that one?
I think
Statue of
I'll,
Anubis.
I think I'll get
Let's
this
do
one
that.
instead, though.
Jar falls down. I can't make the other one fall down. Can you? Alright. Let's see. Alright, I'm going to pay 6 to take the jar.
Okay.